Hey, good morning, my dear friends. I'm getting ready to set up for the MB, and it's an entirely different day here at the beach. It's cool and overcast, but there's a tremendous amount of bird life and birds picking in the surf here this morning. We're going to watch this very closely for you. We have got an incredible MB for you today. Stay tuned. There's some great fishing. We'll get you in touch with the latest from Baja and Southern California coming up next. The MB. Good morning, my dear friends. You are looking at video shot on board the American Angler this morning. They didn't start fishing until about 3 a.m. They're 120 miles south of Point Loma, San Diego. And at 3 a.m., they immediately started catching fish. From 3 to 5, they had 2 stops, and those 2 stops resulted in over 40 bluefin tuna. Other boats in the area doing equally as well, if not better. So there is some good fishing going on at 120 miles. There's another zone of bluefin tuna at 55 miles, and there's a lot of fish there. They're showing, they're breezing, they're up on the surface, but they didn't want to bite last night. So we'll have to watch this very, very closely and see how it all plays out today. We'll have all the latest for you right here on Friedman Adventures. Stay tuned. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Phil Friedman with the late afternoon update on the bluefin tuna grounds down at 120 miles off Punta Colonado. The American Angler's been running on schools of bluefin tuna all day long. They scratched out a few, but now they've been in a plunker bite for over 3 hours. They have 15 bluefin tuna on deck. There's a lot of losses due to the fact that these fish are extremely finicky right now. They won't bite anything over 25 to 30 pound fluorocarbon, and they're 40 to 60 pound bluefin tuna. Right now, they're keeping about 5 fish going all the time. Typical plunker bite. Choose a good hot bait, go to your fluorocarbon, and if you have to drop down to 25, I guess you're just going to have to do that. The tax man even paid them a visit and chomped up one of their bluefin tuna today. But pretty steady action. And remember, the best bite has been at night, so we'll be monitoring that for you all night tonight. They also hit a kelp patty for a half a dozen yellowtail. Very brisk action. Things are looking up. They're in a long plunker bite. Been in one for about 3 hours. We'll keep you in touch. My dear friends, and welcome to a special update, late night update here with Friedman Adventures. The American Angler has found that the nighttime is the right time again tonight. Last night, over 40 bluefin tuna. Tonight, they're in an early bite, and it is wide open. They've got over 30 fish on the deck, and it's only 9:30 in the evening. Most of these fish in the 25 to 35 pound class, and they are biting full speed. Several anglers are still hooked up, and they've got a long time to go. Excellent fishing. American Angler, about 110 miles from Point Loma down the Baja coast. Really fabulous fishing. Let's hope it keeps going. We'll keep you in touch with all the very latest.
9 p.m. and it's wide open. Wide open. 25, 30 fish on deck right now.
Get it, Tony!
Fantastic day on board the Royal Star yesterday as they were fishing 120 miles down the Baja coast at Punta Colonado. It was absolutely wide open, according to my dear friend and deckhand Diego Nuno. He said they had about 30 fish in the daytime, and then the nighttime was absolutely wide open on 40 to 60 pound bluefin tuna. Doesn't get much better than this.
2, 3, 4 going here, guys. 5 going. Nice 50, 60 pound bluefin. Live action, guys. Live action. Woo! Bluefin tuna, daytime bite. What do you think, Luis?
Having fun.
Haha, that's right. Nighttime action. What do you think, John? Snap it.
Yeah.
Snap it. You like it, Logan?
Yeah.
Haha. Ha. Couple biters here.
Okay.
You bite, Mom?
Huh?
Take a bite.
I'll take a bite.
Happy birthday, Scott.
Thank you.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. This Thursday morning, it's overcast, a little cool, a slight breeze blowing in, but man, there's a lot of pelicans and birds hitting the water here this morning. As I told you on the lead in, it looks very active. I think I'm going to have to come down here and make a couple of casts at least. Hey, if you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. Also, share these videos with a friend. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Tick the bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, also TikTok, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Man, is there a lot going on or what? You saw in the extended lead-in we had as we were covering fishing, mostly the bluefin tuna bite, all night last night. It was fabulous for just about all the boats down there. Almost everybody I talked to had limits of bluefin tuna. We'll let you know exactly what was working best as we take a look at that. We had a Panga, Foca, Paulina, Berenice. They went out looking for that bluefin tuna that the New Loan had a score on the other day, and they had some, well, I'll tell you about that in just a minute also. And we'll look at the islands. We'll take a look at the Channel Islands, that Catalina, San Clemente Island, the Coronado Islands, and everywhere in between. There's great rock fishing. Have those sea bass and halibut shown back up again. We'll have it all for you. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, is that good? And it's so good to be with you all. I can't thank you enough for spending time here with us this morning. It's another glorious day in sport fishing. Let's get into it with you. We'll take you south of the border. Let's talk Ensenada for a moment. Berenice and Paulina and our friend Foca took a Panga way out there to where the New Loan had a catch of bluefin tuna the day before, or a couple days before, and unfortunately they could not hook up with that bluefin tuna. But check out that big bonehead that Paulina is displaying for you. That is one big bonito. So we do have some bluefin tuna near Ensenada, but it got off the bite. It didn't want to bite. And the guys that were there, the Royal Star, for example, was right there on those numbers, but he couldn't get that fish to bite, so they hightailed it down to Punta Colonette, where fishing was much better. Inside Baja Ensenada, still 70 miles south of the border, there's still that yellowtail. It's up, it's down, it's inconsistent. Some days it bites really, really well, and other days it just powders out and doesn't bite really that well at all. Yo-yo iron and surface iron has been effective on that. We've had a little flash of barracuda down there. Again, a little bit more calico and sand bass. Things are slowly but surely trying to turn around. And once again, that yellowtail could get up and go wide open here today. That would not surprise me. Those fish are just a little bit forced down by boat pressure sometimes, especially now as we're nearing the weekend. That's when you get more boats on top of it. And because all that yellowtail's inside the bay, it's not a very long run for anybody to get out there and chase it around. It's bird school, so you're looking for the birds. You're running and gunning. You're jumping on those fish and throwing an iron on them, winding about as fast as you can for a yellowtail. And if you're lucky, you'll get your jig slammed into. There's plenty of rockfish down there to back that up. So again, we're going to keep our eyes on it. Of course, we need that bluefin to get closer. We've got a big bluefin tuna tournament coming up here, I think the weekend of the 10th of May. So we are excited to see that little flash of bluefin. We were so grateful for Paulina for going out there and checking it out. Unfortunately, she didn't come up with anything. Hopefully, we're going to get some fish biting closer to Ensenada really, really soon. Hey, I want to take a quick moment. A good friend, Doug Tikt. He's at Little Company of Mary Hospital in beautiful San Pedro, California, and I think he's going to be out of there today. But Doug, I'm hoping you're feeling better. Thanks for watching the morning briefing every morning. We really, really appreciate all that you have done to make Friedman Adventures a real deal, including all your help at the Christmas party. We'll never, ever forget you for that, for your kindness and generosity. Feel better, my friend. Scott Buchert's birthday is today, and so many of you know Scott. He's one of the hardest working deckhands in Southern California. He is soon headed to Alaska again, going to do some commercial fishing up there and then return back and work the Southern California fleet. Scott, had such a great time with you last night at your birthday. Happy birthday, my friend. All right, let's jump in to this side of the border and let's talk bluefin tuna. By this side of the border, I mean we're going to talk about San Diego-based boats, but they're going down into Mexican waters. About 110, 120 mile run, some fish down at 130 miles off of Punta Colonette west of there. There has been some real conking going on, as you can see by the morning briefing. We've been following Patrick Harnjack. He lives in Montana. He's making a move to Utah right now, but he lives in Montana, and he watches Friedman Adventures on a regular basis. Patrick, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. You catching all these fish and your great reporting skills keeping me out today. Well, yesterday during the daytime, it was plunker bite type of fishing. I think they ended up with 15 or 20 bluefin tuna working hard all day long. And the part of the problem is, or part of the challenge is, let's put it that way, is that these daytime fish, for the most part, are really finicky. So they don't want to bite anything over 25, 30-pound fluorocarbon. That's what you want to be using. By the way, don't forget the Ahi GT4 is now available in stores for you. If you don't see it, ask for it. And you can go to promarahi.com. You put in FA at checkout, and you'll get 10% off not only the fluoro, but everything that they have. Nets, gaffs, jigs, assault jigs, everything. 10% off. We would appreciate it if you would do that. Back to those daytime bluefin tuna. They're finicky, 25 to 30-pound fluorocarbon. It's what they want with a good hot bait. So that means you're going to lose a lot of fish, especially when you get into that 40 to 60-pound grade bluefin tuna. It's mixed up. There's some 20-pound stuff. There's even a couple of 15-pounders, 25, 40, 60, few bigger than that, but that's been the grade. And you hook those on 25-pound, you've got your hands full. So the daytime bite went along like that. Also, over on the Royal Star, a similar kind of situation. They had 30 daytime bluefin tuna for those guys. But at nighttime, that's when it got crazy. Patrick Harnjack said on the American Angler they had about a 4-hour drift. When it started, every single rod on the boat was bit, 18, 20 fish going. It was wide open. And then it turned into kind of a plunker bite, had several fish going for that 4-hour period. Patrick said that the 180 to 120 gram jigs, smaller jigs, worked best of all for the guys on the American Angler last night. So there is a tip for you. That is not to say to leave your 300 to 400 gram jigs at home. You definitely do not want to do that. You never know, things change. Wind, current, fish are deeper. But last night that worked really well on the American Angler. The Royal Star, my good buddy Diego Nuno, dear friend, who helped ship so much clothing down to Cedros Island with yours truly this year. Diego's a deckhand on the Royal Star, and he said, Phil, we had 30 fish in the daytime, really nice action, and then limits of bluefin tuna last night. A lot of that fish, 40 to 60 pounds. Some guys are on different grade fish, it all depends, but they had a wonderful trip on board the Royal Star. It can't get much better than that. Limits of bluefin tuna on board the Polaris Supreme for their first 2 days fishing. So they have some great fishing. Limits of bluefin tuna on board the Shogun. Can it get any better than this? It's a little bit of a run down there, 120 miles, as I said. Some fish at 110, and that's why that fish that Paulina was looking at yesterday is intriguing also. It may have left, it may have moved somewhere else, but the fact is that we're starting to see bluefin in multiple areas, and this is all great news. Don't forget how important that colored metered line is. You've got to drop when the captain tells you to drop to the exact depth that he tells you to drop to, and you do that by fishing that metered line. And bring some of those smaller jigs. You're definitely going to want to have that. Some the Daiwa Zakana type lures during the daytime where you make a long cast on a foamer. Sometimes you get bit on that, but mostly it was a bait kind of bite. And don't trust your trophy fish to any hook but Trocar hooks by Eagle Claw. Man, they are so strong, so sharp. Trocar will get the job done for you. Sam De La Torre over there at Island Fishing Tackle in the beautiful city of Carson, California, caught his biggest yellowfin tuna ever using a Trocar hook. So keep that in mind. Really great fishing last night on that big bluefin tuna. Most of it down below there. We'll see how it goes today. Don't forget, we have those shorts where we keep you updated throughout the day. Really good stuff. Hey, it's tax season. Kind of gone by, but if you have unfiled taxes, nobody better to handle it for you than Tim Marquez at A Best Income Tax. And if you have heating and or air conditioning needs, you're going to want to turn your attention to John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. All right, let's jump back into this side of the border. We'll talk Coronado Islands, where it's been up and down on the Yellowtail. We've seen some good hits down there for the San Diego and the Liberty and other boats that have been fishing the Coronado Islands. And then we've seen some hits that are not so good. maybe no fish at all. So that's been the situation. It's kind of a roller coaster right now. Typical early spring fishing where those yellows are in that water temp that's just on the cusp of where they want to bite, and it lacks consistency. But most of those fish have been big, great, nice yellowtail, 18 to 20 pound fish. Beautiful, great of fish biting on the yo-yo iron, and backing it up is some stupendous rock fishing. The rockfish bite has been absolutely great with lings and reds and so much more. So in most cases, you're going to go home with some great eating fish there at the Coronado Islands as the yellows continue to make their presence felt there in that neck of the woods. By the way, speaking of rockfish, the American angler is just hammering the big rockfish this morning off of Punta Calinet. They're limited out on bluefin tuna. Now they're going to put some color in the fish holds and top it off with some great rockfish, and they are putting the herd on it. We'll see how they do on that. That is some fun fishing down there off Calinet for big reds and lings. It really is an absolute ball. All right, let's carry the theme up here and stay on islands. While we're talking islands, we'll talk San Clemente Island, where there's been some big yellowtail taken there in that neck of the woods. We've seen yellows up to 25, 28 pounds. Most of it 18 to 20 pounds. The Amigo here recently has had several nice big fat fish out there at Clemente out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. And the Fury and the Freedom and several other boats over there have been picking a fish or two. We haven't seen huge numbers, but we've seen some forkies getting up there into that neck of the woods. And also good rock fishing for the boys that want to focus on that. Catalina, the Freelance, was reporting some patchy 64-degree water. That is what the doctor ordered. We get up over 60 degrees, and that's when that fish really likes to turn on. They had a yellowtail yesterday. There's been some bonita there, and there's been plenty of good rock fishing. The pursuit is en route to Catalina Island out of 22nd Street Landing as we speak, and they are talking deep water rock cod, 16-ounce torpedoes, and some shallow water stuff. And as usual, the guys on the pursuit work their tail off out of 22nd Street, and they'll go in and check that kelp line out and see if there's any calicos or more yellowtail or more bonita, anything like that that wants to bite a sea bass or a halibut. They're keeping that honest, as we're all thinking that it should be any day now when that turns on. The Blackfish, a yacht out of Newport, had 9 halibut to 18 pounds yesterday. The El Patron out of Long Beach sport fishing has been having great fishing there at Catalina Island, also catching really great amounts of the bottom grabbers and checking on that surface bite also with some bonita and some calico bass in that neck of the woods. So El Patron has an overnight trip. They're going to start to switch their schedule from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. to the overnight type trips. They're limited to only 11 guys, and they are a go on the night of May the 9th, heading to Catalina Island. So that is great news on board the El Patron. Don't forget, you can get on the El Patron by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org. You can fish Catalina Island or fish their overnight trips on board the El Patron. So check them out or give Long Beach Sport Fishing a call here this morning. Really great fishing over there at Catalina Island. Hopefully that's going to continue. And don't forget, we're on the El Patron Friedman Adventures on May the 9th and the 23rd. Just send me a text if you want to go. I think there's 2 spots left. We could be full. I'll check on it for you, but send me a text, please. 657-227-6459. And then June 11th to the 13th, whoa, we have got a reverse 2.5-day trip on board the Apollo out of 22nd Street Landing, leaving at 10 in the morning. We can fish anywhere we want. We will have the range leaving at 10 a.m. to be anywhere we have to be, whether it's for bluefin tuna, wide open sea bass and halibut, yellowtail, or tons of rockfish. That is going to be a wonderful trip, limited to only 20 anglers. A few spots left on that June 11th through the 13th. Send that text to me if you want to get on that one. Hey, one thing I noticed up there in the Channel Islands is that we have not been catching the amount of halibut and sea bass that we once were, but you got to think we're sitting on a powder keg up there. I think it's going to get going again here very, very soon. Tucker McCombs on the Endeavors had some great white sea bass fishing, but that was a week ago or so. Here recently, it's just been wide open rockfish. You'll have to suffer through life with giant reds and big lingcod. I mean, that's the beauty of the Channel Islands. I must tell you that when they're not catching exotics, they are filling your sack with the finest eating fish in the sea, and they continue to do that up there in that neck of the woods. So the islands, we kind of have covered that with you. It's been pretty good. Local fishing, you know, as we take a look around, we continue to see mostly rockfish up and down the southern California coast and down in Baja. Also, we have yet to see any kind of real consistent bite on the surface type fish, bonita, barracuda, yellowtail, calico bass, sand bass. Yeah, I mean, there's some good twilight fishing out of Marina del Rey at night on the bass sometimes, and there's an occasional bonita taken here locally, but overall, it's rockfish, and guys have been filling the sacks with the rockfish. One thing that caught my eye, though, out of LA waterfront sport fishing was the fact they had 55 Spanish jacks. Now, I don't have to tell you, or perhaps I do, that when you catch a lot of Spanish jacks in a season, yeah, those long-finned little devils, those albacores like to show up also. We have seen years where we catch a lot of Spanish jacks on the kelps offshore, big ones too, and they're great eating, but you do catch those in cold water type years. And now we are trending toward La Nina right now. Water temps are actually warmer this month than they were last year at this time. So that's why I think we're seeing some of the anomalies and some of the warm water fish up here. But now we're starting to trend downward in water temperatures, and we're going to be into a full-fledged La Nina here pretty soon. So I know, albacore, I got it on the brain. I'm always thinking about it. I know, I need psychological help. I'll make sure I do that really soon. Island Spirit up there out of Ventura, sport fishing. What a great trip they have planned for you tomorrow. They're going to take off at 8, fish till 4, extended half-day fishing. Same thing on the Californian. They've been catching all kinds of great rockfish up there in that area. It's going to be a light load, it sounds like, on Friday. And they also are running Saturday and Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Island Spirit, Ventura Sport Fishing. You should get out on a light load on Friday and be able to just whale on those great rockfish. Hope you can do it. 805-676-3474. The Californian, the old Matt Walsh, will be out of there also. So give them a try. You will not regret that. And Ventura Sport Fishing is such a fabulous place to fish. No question about that. So good rock fishing up and down the Southern California coast. Now, the SoCal Surf Fishing Bite. And I'll remind you all to stop by my friends over there, Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. I saw Rada, the owner of Big Fish, yesterday and spent some nice moments with him. He's a great young man, does a great job, and you can pick up all the bait you need over there. Another surf fisherman going by. Good morning. Very serious this morning. But you can get all the bait you need down there, and you can load up with all your gear. And I'm talking about gear from surf fishing to trout fishing to bass fishing to big game fishing. They've got it all at Big Fish Bait and Tackle. And they also have a great tournament that's free to enter for the largest halibut this month. So it'll be the largest halibut for you all. There's been some halibut, and that's what that guy is doing. I'm pretty sure I glanced. I saw a Lucky Craft type lure that he was walking along with. So hopefully he'll come up with some good catches here today. It's been a little bit of yellowfin croaker and some corvina. It has not been wide open here on this beach, but down in Bolsa Chica it's been good. And Bob Gifford, Friedman Adventure family member, points out that the pelicans, and they've been doing this for a while, they're going insane in the Santa Monica Bay, hitting the water like there's a ton of bait there. So hopefully that's going to bode well. I have been seeing, when I first walked down here, all kinds of life. Birds picking, pelicans, and everything else. As I look right now, that seems to have diminished since I've been blind down here with you all. I don't see it right now. But when I first walked down here, it was very active with a lot of pelicans hitting the water. So we'll keep our eyes on that. That's always a good sign if you're a surf fisherman. If you see that going on in the surf, you definitely want to get over there and make a cast or two. As the season goes on and the water temps warm up here in the surf, it's going to get better and better and better. All right. Wow, what great fishing on that bluefin right now. It has been tremendous. The American anglers in on the coast fishing rockfish right now. Pursuit headed to Catalina Island. El Patron awaits you there at Long Beach Sport Fishing. Of course, the Island Spirit wants to take you on a great trip this weekend also. And here at Friedman Adventures, we're going to be watching it all for you very, very closely. Tonight live at around 4:30, I would say, it's the Danny Cadota Show. Danny's going to be thrilled that he was absolutely 100% right on this bluefin tuna. He's been saying all along, they haven't gone anywhere, just relax. Don't get pushing that panic button quite yet. Just relax. And Danny nailed it. He's going to share all his vast knowledge with you here this evening on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. As always, I can't thank you enough. Take care, have a great day, and I hope to see you really, really soon.
This May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, get ready for an adventure-packed weekend at the West Coast Outdoors Sport Fishing Expo. Taking place at the Ventura Fairgrounds, it's everything outdoors under the sun. Discover the latest in boats, explore thrilling charters, and dive into the world of RVs. Whether you're an avid angler or just love the great outdoors, there's something for everyone. For more information, visit sportfishingexpo.com.